A new story, a new face.
Hey, Joy Tribe, welcome back to The Joyful Life. I am your hostess with the mostest, Joy Villa. Welcome to the 5th episode of The Joyful Life. Yay! We've been going for 5 episodes, and I want to shout out to every single listener and viewer out there. You know that we're streaming on Wednesdays with the Joy Tribe Live. My fans, I affectionately call you guys my Joy Tribe, and you guys are so interactive and have so much energy, and I love it so much. So on Wednesdays, I invite you to join me on my live on my YouTube, and it's the Joy Tribe Live. It's youtube.com/MissJoyVilla. That's youtube.com/MissJoyVilla. For new listeners here and viewers, if you don't know who I am, I'm the hostess with the mostest, of course. But my name is Joy Villa. I'm a singer, songwriter, actress, writer, public persona, and speaker of things that I care about. So the purpose of this podcast is to let you know about my values, but also to inspire you to live a life more joyful, to live a life that is elegant and fun and classy and vibrant and rich and full of the things that you care about the most. And those are faith, freedom, finances, fitness, and I think I said all the 5 pillars of joy. We're going to be launching into the 5 pillars of joy very soon as I work on the Joyful Life book that goes along with the podcast. So we have faith, freedom, finances, fitness. I can only think of 4 right now. Let me make sure. Joy Tribe, these are the 5 pillars of joy, which will aid you in your life. And I have gotten a lot of requests from you guys to talk about how am I so joyful? Why am I so joyful? You know, I will first say I'm a Christian woman. It's the joy of the Lord that gives me strength. Okay, the 5 pillars of joy are food, faith, freedom, fitness, and finances. I think I forgot freedom. There it is. It's not forgetfulness. That is not the 6th word, the pillars of joy. So this is going to be very exciting. So on our 5th one, we have the 5th episode. We are launching the 5 pillars of joy: faith, freedom, fitness, food, and family, right? And finances. Anyways, we're going to get into it. I love you guys, and I want to say I'm always talking about what I'm drinking. I'm drinking some Health Aid kombucha today, Pink Lady Apple. It's bubbly probiotic tea for a happy gut. Living life joyfully means we definitely have a healthy gut and a healthy life. So shout out to our probiotics today for Health Aid kombucha. And this is a great flavor. And of course, I'm drinking it from a crystal glass because we must be classy, darling. We must be classy. So let's talk about it. Living life joyfully. What does that mean? Well, first of all, taking responsibility for things you need to do. I will tell you, this week has been quite an amazing week. It's been very busy. You guys know, y'all know I moved to Florida, the state of Florida, the great state here in the United States. And I will tell you a little known secret, if I can reveal something. I look forward to this podcast every week because I get to be very real with you, honest, reveal things, and also hear your feedback, which I love. And thank you for a lot of feedback on my last podcast episode. I appreciate you, Joy Tribe, for the care and the love and the support you showed me. So this week has been about taking responsibility. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit under the weather, if you can hear it in my voice. I don't often get sick. In fact, I rarely ever get sick, thank God. But sometimes we get a little under the weather, and we have to be kind to ourselves, kind to our bodies, kind to our minds, and detox from the negative influences or toxic people or things that can be around us that can be making us sick. So I've had a lot of inner work and a lot of changes going on. But one of the big things, I will confess to you, Joy Tribe, and please don't hold it against me, but I have never had my license. That's true. I can't believe I'm admitting this on the Joyful Life. I have never had my driver's license. I'm not talking about a pilot's license or a helicopter license or a home like a home selling license or any sort of specialty. I'm simply talking about your normal everyday driver's license, something you've probably had since you were 15, 16 years old. So I digress. I've never had my driver's license because I partly grew up, major part of my growing up was in New York City. And New York City, for all my New Yorkers out there, we have something called the subway. All right, we can ride the subway. What are you talking about? Why you need to drive a car? You don't need to drive a car. You get a pack. It's so expensive. Forget it. Forget about it. Forget about it. No, I don't need to freaking drive a car in New York City, okay? But my goodness, did I get away with not driving for years. And then I moved to Los Angeles and Uber came out. Uber, Lyft, I didn't have to drive. And before that, of course, I had boyfriends, friends with cars, and I had people that would pick me up. When my family lived in Burbank, California, and Santa Barbara, I always had a boyfriend to drive me who had a car. I even co-owned a car at age 18 with my first boyfriend, but he always drove it. So you can actually own a car without having a license in the United States, at least in California, years ago. I'm pretty sure it's the same. So I say all that to say is I know how to change oil. I know how to change a tire. I'm not dumb when it comes to cars, and I like cars a lot. I love Corvettes. I don't have a Bugatti, but one day I would love to have a Bugatti. Shout out to Andrew Tate with the Bugatti. What color is your Bugatti? A Bugatti is a very expensive car for those of you who don't know. I think it's $1 million car, and they're quite glamorous. I'm not very knowledgeable about cars, but I like cars. I love Corvettes. A Corvette Stingray has always been my favorite. I would say probably like a 1967, 68, 69 Stingray. But I would love to get a Corvette Stingray from now, or a Corvette. There's another type of car. I was talking about it with someone else about there's a new version of a Corvette that's out there that's even better, and I should go for that. And I'm like, great. So when the finances are rolling, when your girl has got it, she will get one of those. Right now, I stay humble. I stay hungry. But one of the things is why didn't I get a license, right? Okay, so we established that. And then I moved to London. And of course, we have public transport. And we have Uber, we have drive share, we have friends. All of those things added up to, I now am looking to get a car. Now, I'm in my 30s, in case you don't know. I know I look like I'm in my 20s, but I'm in my 30s. And it's not that I've never driven a car. I know how to drive a car. I've even parked a car. I even worked on a movie set where I was hired as a production assistant in my early 20s. I think I was 21, 22. Maybe 23. And the keys were given to me and I was told, can you go pick up some things? We need some stuff for set. Let's go. Here you go. Here's the keys. And it was a pickup truck, beautiful, brand new pickup truck, and given to me by the producer. And this is so bad. Don't do this, Joy Tribe. Please don't do this. But I drove all the way to Safeway. I don't even know how I did this. This is blowing my mind right now. I just have the necessity level to do it. No license. This is probably a criminal offense that I'm admitting to, but it's too late now. And I will deny it if you hold me to it. Supposedly, this happened to me at one time. No license, nothing. And I drove to the store, parked, and was able to get I think it was like water and snacks, and then, had the company card and then, put everything in there and took the car and drove it back to set and then was helped to park to back it in. And I parked, I think I even parallel parked this big old pickup truck. Maybe I'm a pickup truck girl. It was amazing. And it was so nice being in a pickup truck. I felt so big, because I was tall. I mean, I am a tall girl. Those of you who don't know. So those of you who've met me know I'm a very tall girl. And some of you guys are like, well, how tall are you? I get those questions on Facebook, like, how tall are you? And, on my social media, I am 5'10.2 for anyone who's asking. maybe almost 5'10" and a half. But with hair and shoes, I'm 6'2". Of course. My hair is very big. So people always think I'm much taller. And then if I'm wearing heels, which often if I'm going out for a nice event, I'm dressed classy. It's a classy event. It's a date night. It's fancy. I'll wear heels. It's a red carpet event. I'll wear heels. But if you see me in my normal day to day, I'm usually wearing pretty flats or nice sneakers. I love my Pumas, coming from the gym. I got my Pumas on right now. In fact, Puma sponsor me because I love your shoes. And I like the collaboration you did with Rihanna. So yeah, Puma, here's looking at you, kid. Listen, and everybody tag Puma. Okay, Joy Tribe, can you tag Puma for me? So back to the story. So I drove and I parked and, nobody was none the wiser. Now, I 100% recommend you do not do this. Do not do this. Do not drive without a license, or permit or legal. Don't do it. But as the years progressed, I'll be the first to admit to you, I got scared of driving. I started thinking of accidents. I've driven a car before and I was able to loan a car from a girlfriend of mine. Oh my gosh, she was so sweet. And I drove her car because she said, oh, you can just borrow my car. I always had people lending me their cars or wanting to lend me their cars, which was so amazing, such a blessing. And I drove the car and I backed into something. And then I get an accident. It was a small accident. I had to pay for her bumper and I did. It was like $500-$600. And I was really broke at the time. That might as well have been $5,000-$6,000. You know what I mean? And I felt so bad. And that would have been a couple years after I booked that movie. Yeah, that was when I was living at my dad's house out in the hills of Sunland outside Los Angeles. And before he passed away. And I just felt awful. And I apologized and she was so sweet. And she was like, no, I understand. And, she was a friend from church. And I didn't get into a car after that. I'm just now realizing that was part of it. I felt extremely guilty. Do you ever go through that guilt, Joy Tribe, where you feel like you shouldn't do something? Dear beloved listener, if you feel that, it is false. Now, I'm not saying don't feel guilty for things you've done that are bad, but you cannot be stuck in that guilt. You cannot be, especially if the other person forgives you and has moved on, you cannot be stuck and put in that guilt box where you feel like you can't move out of it, because the only person who can put you in that box is you. So I stayed in that box for a while. I'm just realizing that actually as I talk to you here on the podcast. And then after, I just use the excuse, I'm to New York. I'm to New York. I don't need to drive. And, I've used public transport since then, private drivers when the money's in, the production's paying for it. I've dates pick me up. And then when I got married, my ex-husband, we would Uber everywhere and Lyft everywhere. When we were traveling, when I was on tour with my team, we would Lyft and Uber everywhere. So there's always like a driver somewhere, and then if I just go, I don't drive, then that's just part of it. You want to pay to play, you're going to have to pick me up, darling. So as I take a sip of my kombucha, my Health Aid kombucha, it's really good. It's crisp, pink lady apple. It's got like a crisp flavor. It's delicious. Y'all know I'm a foodie. As a tourist, I love to eat and taste things. It's very refreshing. I love it. I love this kind of kombucha. There's different kombuchas out there. And often I'll be drinking tea, kombucha, coffee. I love coffee as well, but it's later in the evening. So, when I finally could confront that I need to get my license, it became, I was in the UK and I said, I can't now. I live overseas and I traveled in Europe for a while. And I came back to LA pretty recently and I thought, I've got to get my license. And I thought, I'm going to get my motorcycle license because me and a few friends of mine love to drive motorcycles. Well, he loves to drive motorcycles and I like motorcycles. I've always wanted to drive a motorcycle. Always, since I was a little girl. I wanted a pink Jeep and I wanted a motorcycle. And I mean, the pink Jeep, I'm not sure if I still want the Barbie Jeep, although with the Barbie film and everything Barbie, I'm so glad girliness is back because I'm a very feminine, girly girl. So I'm glad it's back. We'll see on the pink Jeep. So, and then of course there's Teslas. Teslas are beautiful. There's so many cool cars, and cars become part of your personality. And I just had this thing where I was scared to drive, and it turned into, I don't want to hurt someone. I started becoming paralyzed by the fear of if I got behind a wheel, I might hit someone or hurt someone. And I didn't trust myself to have that. Well, I can be proud to tell you, Joy Tribe, that I overcame that fear, and I now am the proud owner of a permit in the great state of Florida. I don't have my license yet, but I have my permit. Because if you've never had a license, a lot of you guys don't remember this because you were young. Of course, you were normal. You were like me. And by the way, I met many friends who were like, we're 27, we're 28, we're 29, we're 30. And we don't have our license. One of my best girlfriends just got her license in the UK. Shout out to you, Callie. And she's also in her 30s. So it became something where it was almost a part of my personality to not have my license. And then I thought, I have to get it. And now I have my permit. So if you don't know, in Florida, in the US, probably in other places too, but in the US, you have to have a permit where you take a test. You've got to study for the test. It's a written test, which I did. I studied, and I went to the DMV. I got recognized. They were like, joyvilla, we know who you are, which was really funny. It was a very humbling experience because I came in extremely humbled, like a little girl. I was just like, I should have learned this a long time ago. I studied for the test. I had the booklet. I studied right there at the DMV. I've studied it before. Each laws are different. Rules are different in each state. And I took the written test. You're allowed to get 11 wrong. You're allowed to get 10 wrong. If you get 11 wrong, you fail the test. I am proud to announce I am such a good student and I'm very smart. So I only got 10 wrong. That's the maximum you can get wrong, right? So I got 10 wrong. Some of them I guessed. I could have studied longer, harder, I guess. But a lot of them I knew. Like the first 15 I got right. I was like, boom, boom, boom. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I was like, well, preacher's daughter right here. I was like, boom, 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 boom. And then you get a few wrong and you're like, it's like, it's on the computer, right? It's a touch screen. And you can lift up the phone and hear the guy speak. I'm very audio, audiophile. I'm an audio learner. I'm a learner, and I'm a doing learner. I'd probably say mostly I'm a doing learner, but given the opportunity for something, if I really feel like I can't understand it, I can read and comprehend extremely well. I was a straight A student in school. 4.0 GPA, very studious, very smart, very book smart. But there's something about audio. As I got older, I didn't go to college. I took a few classes in college, but I didn't graduate with a college degree, university degree. I didn't need to as an artist. I looked into it. I graduated at 16, high school. But I was in honors classes, but there's something about audio that I can, people like books on tape and audio stuff. I don't necessarily listen to books on tape, but I like to put on podcasts. Like, hopefully you listen to this podcast while you're doing things, or maybe you're sitting and just listening. But it's, I think it's really nice to have something going on while you're preparing things, and you feel like you're in the other person's world. They're in your world. It's like a friend. And I hope that this podcast to you feels like your friend, because that's my intention. I am your friend, Joy Villa. Yeah, I'm just Joy, Joy Tribe. And I know you guys. I know a lot of you guys because you talk to me on my YouTube channel. You talk to me on my Instagram at Joy Villa. You talk to me. I'm on X at Joy Villa Music. My other account got deleted, so follow the new one at Joy Villa Music on X, Twitter X. Anyways, I like to be in communication with you guys. You know that. And some of you guys love that about me. Most of you guys say that is the best thing. You're a reachable celebrity, a reachable opinion leader, a person who likes to talk to us. And that's part of it for me. It's a huge part of it for me. So, which by the way, I met one of you, Joy Triber, in person, and I always love meeting you guys. So I'm going to play a little bit of that video for you soon after I finish this story. I'd like you to hear it. So stay tuned. It's a little treat, because it was a treat for me. It was an amazing treat for me to hear and meet one of you guys in Clearwater, Florida, and a beautiful woman, comedian, actress. So you'll hear it in a few minutes. So, I was scared, and I took the test, though I felt confident. I passed. I wouldn't say with flying colors, but I passed. Okay. One more and I would have been wrong, but one more and I would have failed it. So I took the test, I passed, and then you have to take a 4-hour, and by 4 hours, they actually mean 6-hour drug, alcohol, and traffic test. In the state of Florida, you have to do that. So I stayed up all night because you have to do it online. Thank God it's online. I stayed up all night yesterday, and I took that test. Oh my goodness, Joy Tribe. It was so intense. I mean, it wasn't intense. It was like a dare, dare to get kids off drugs. I love that. I love drug education. I'm very, I don't do drugs at all. I'm very anti-drug. I drink very sparingly, My lifestyle is about healthiness, healthy, being present, being there, having a good time without having to rely on toxic materials or toxic, digestible toxins. How else can you say it? I do believe drugs are toxic, and alcohol can be very toxic as well, and it can lead to bad choices and mistakes. So I drink very sparingly, and I've gone years without drinking. It's just not my thing. And then I'll drink, like a nice whiskey or something nice, but I would never mix like a show or performance or driving or anything that where my mental aptitude could be impaired. So the whole course was basically about that. And so I love drug education. I'm a big proponent of that. I was big in DARE when I was in school. I also am one of the, for the drug-free world, I'm an ambassador for Drug-Free World, Americas.com, drugfreeworld.com, the foundation for a drug-free world. And so I love that, I love that whole thing. But my goodness, this course was, first of all, it's timed. It's very good. If you've ever had a license in another state, you don't have to take this, right? Because we all went through this in school, and it's aimed towards students, and it's got the, statistics on crashing. It's got the visuals. I mean, it has to do with driving in particular, and you cannot pass it. You cannot read it as quick as you can. For me, I read quick, so you can't change the next page. You sign up online. It's about $20. You have to go through a third-party service. And I think I did like $5 drivingcourse.com, something like that. And then you have to pay a little extra because it's not really $5. And then you pay for the audible. So you can't have it read to you. But here's the kicker is you have to stay on the page for a certain amount of time. Joy Tribe, I can read very fast. So it says you can't click over. They have like random arbitrary times, like 6 minutes. 6 minutes to read like one scrolling page that would be maybe like 2 or 3 pages. It does not take me 6 minutes. So I had to just read it or have it read to me. And then I couldn't click to the next until the timer runs out. It was crazy. It took 6 hours. Because then I would pause it, or not pause it, but I would let it go. The timer has to go. I'd get up, I'd make a snack. You know what I mean? I would watch a YouTube video because I'm like, I have like 4 minutes to waste. It only took me 2 minutes to read this. And it's saying I have to stay on each page for 6 minutes. And the timing would change. You can't predict it. Sometimes it was like 2 minutes. And I would leave it open. I'd go to the bathroom or I'd go do something. I'd come back and it would be like 5 minutes left. And I would have sworn I wasted like 6 minutes already. It was insane. I'm like, does it recount? And they would ask you security questions to make sure you're staying there. Listen, I don't want to scare you from doing this if you're in the state of Florida, but I'm trying to tell you the reality of this was the 4 hours was actually 6 hours. And I ended up sleeping at like 3 a.m. last night, waking up this morning and finishing it in the morning. And my eyeballs were sore from looking at a screen the whole time. And you can feel that exhaustion from staring at a screen. Those of you who work from home or who are writers, when you're just like sitting and you feel uncomfortable. And I would put on a podcast sometimes and I would watch some stuff and the timer would run out and it doesn't let you know. You have to keep clicking, you have to keep looking at the page and then you can go back and review the materials. And then there would be a test after each there was 4 sections. So the data was good and I got flying colors on each test. And then after, you're allowed to take the overall test and you have to pass. And you have to pass all the tests with like 70% or 80%. I passed most of them with 100% because they're also, if you're reading the material, you'll get it. It's not hard, common sense, but you do have to study the material. But just reading it was fine. The painful thing was just the time wasting because, when I relax, I like to take my time. When I eat, I like to take my time. When I'm, luxurious and slow, I like to take my time. But when I want to get something done, boom, 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 boom. Let's go, baby. I don't want to take my time. I want to go, 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 go. So I was in go, go, go mode and I had to take my time. Yeah. Needless to say, I'm not complaining. I passed the overall test as well with, I think it doesn't tell you how many you get wrong, but I don't think I got anything wrong. On the final test, I believe I got 100%. They send you the certificate and then you take that certificate and you have to put in your social security and your information, your address, your birth date. They submit that to the DMV. And then once you finish that, you can go into the DMV office again. You pay about $54. You get another picture taken. You get a picture taken. And they give you your license. It's not license. It's a permit. What do they call it? You know what? It's in my purse. I was going to show it to you guys, cover it and show it. Because it has secret information like my address and stuff. I'm not going to show you that. But I basically look like this. I wasn't as fancy. I don't have this, but the picture looked really good. A lot of people, I send it to my friends, It's like, So I got it. I got my permit. And this is the first permit I've had in my life. So congratulations to me, Joy Tribe. Your girl is moving up in the world. I officially now have my permit. And I want to use this as an example to tell you it's never too late. I mean, I've toured 39 countries. I have award-winning films. I produced movies. I have competed in bodybuilding competitions and won 3rd and 4th place. I'm a certified, nutritionist, right? So I've trained in counseling, spiritual counseling. I've got certifications. I have, run the mile in under 7 minutes in high school. I've completed incredible things. Last one was a joke, but it's true. But I mean, that's a big thing, right? I've done incredible things. I've 21-day fasted, juice cleansed, fasted before. I've done a 9-day water fast, prayer and fasting, which I'm about to do another fast, by the way, because I just love it as a detox and everything. And getting a little sick, and I go, my body needs a detox, my mind needs a detox, my spirit needs a detox. So if you're interested in joining me on that fast, let me know. We could do one online, and I could just, we could update each other. But basically, I've done a lot of incredible things. Walked the red carpet in the Grammys, in a dress that was very overt, advertising who I am, right? Outspoken on politics, outspoken on pro-life issues. I've toured, I've done probably 150 public speaking gigs. I have hit #1 on Billboard, iTunes, Amazon, and Apple Music. I have I have a Billboard #1 hit album. I have done the Grammys 6 times. Grammys red carpet, walked the Grammys red carpet, attended the Grammys as a member of the Recording Academy. I have starred in several feature films, but 2 major feature films, and I co-produced 2 of them, co-wrote a film. So I've written a full script. I have a full script that is going to go into production soon. I have pitched my TV shows. I just auditioned for Home Shopping Network to be a celebrity guest, pitch with my own products and to talk about other products. I mean, the point is I've done incredible things. I've been married, I've been divorced. I'm a stepmom. I gave up a child for adoption. I've done incredible big things that are quite something. And me, I'm not shy. I'm pretty brave. Thank you, Jesus. But one thing I never did was get my permit or my license. And that was holding me back. Not because it's something everyone should do, but because it disabled me to an extent to where I wasn't able to be as independent, and free. And a lot of people would say, how can you survive without your license? I love to drive. And I would just have this road rage. And it would be every negative thing that you could talk about or think about would come up when I would think about driving. And I couldn't confront the responsibility of potentially hurting someone. Well, now that's no longer in my universe. Thank God. And thank you guys for listening to this, because I use this as an example to say, no matter, and I wrote a book that became a #4 bestseller on Amazon books. I mean, it's not about what you've done in life. It's about what you can do and do the things. I've jumped out of a plane. Oh my gosh. I've been vegan for 19 years. I'm sorry. I can keep thinking of new things. I got tattoos. I even tattooed myself before. I trained in doing tattoos. I'm a wild woman that's done a lot of things. I'm very well accomplished. I'm proud of that. And I'm really glad to do that. And I want to do another episode, by the way, on getting what you want and asking for it and getting paid what you deserve. Based on your experience, based on your abilities, based on you, not what the market says or what they think. Because oftentimes we undersell ourselves, and somehow that's okay rather than oversell. We think we oversell, but we really undercut ourselves. And if you're a woman, especially women, we tend to do that. Women of color, anybody can do that. Men can do it too. But in this male-dominated world, women tend to pull themselves back rather than take a seat at the table, right? But if you want me to do an episode on that, let me know, Joy Tribe. I would love to do an episode on that. But I say all that to say is I have done some incredible things at a young age, and yet still, this is one of the biggest things I've done because I had to confront so much fear and so much guilt and shame over being older, over 30 and not having my driver's license. So now I'm the proud owner and I worked hard for it. It wasn't even hard, but the hard work was confronting everything and doing it. So, so now I have my permit. Woo, I'm so happy. I have my Florida permit. It's learner's license is what it says, because it says license on it, but it's a learner's license. And a permit just means I'm allowed to drive with someone who is 21 and over who has a license in the car with me. Cool. Normally you get this at 15 and a half. You have to have it for 6 months or a year, and then you can get your license. If you're over 18, I could actually go take the driver's test tomorrow and just get my license. But I want to get some driving experience. So I might take you with me if you think that's fun. Maybe I take the camera and we go into the car and you just see me drive. I'm not scared. Now I'm excited. I'm not scared. I ain't scared. I was scared, but now I'm excited. Now I'm happy. Now I'm like, okay, I can do this. I deserve this. And sometimes it's just giving yourself that permission, the permission to be fabulous, the permission to be capable, the permission to live life joyfully, the permission to be you and not feel like you have to hold back or be ashamed of where you're at. And my good friend Day, shout out. She said, this is good content. You should talk about it on your show. So that's why I made this podcast episode about it. And it ties into this joyful life, mental health, self-help, attitude of gratitude, ability promotion, promote your abilities. It really does, because I don't think anyone would look at me and knowing what I've done and say, I bet she doesn't drive. But I also don't think you guys will judge me for not driving. I judge myself. Joy Tribe, we judge ourselves much more harshly than others will. And I want you to be kind to yourself this week. I want you to take kindness and gratitude to yourself with you this week, if you can take anything, because it is a part of living a joyful life. Being kind to yourself, being grateful for the little things. You may not be a millionaire, but are you a thousandaire? I mean, did you just save up a considerable amount of money into your savings account? Maybe it's not the money you should have. Maybe it's not 50, 60K, but did you manage to put 5K away? That's huge. Did you manage not to do something that you told yourself you wouldn't do? That's huge. We don't have to wait for January to have the change your life type of things. You can change your life in little ways every day, because those little ways add up to big ways. And for me, this is a big deal. And it should be, because it's a passage. It's a rite of passage. And I shouldn't shy away from it, because no one's going to judge me. No one's judging us as bad as we're judging ourselves. So, yeah. So by this week, I'm going to take a car out. I've got a car. I'm borrowing a car from a friend to do this. I don't have a car yet. But I have a car that I'm borrowing. And I'll probably rent a car until I find out what's my car style, budget wise, everything. What do you guys think I should drive, Joy Tribe? But then I'll get some experience. I'll get a friend to show me some stuff. I want to drill, practice driving, parking, feeling comfortable. And then I can't wait to be that girl. I was in the Uber today at Lyft. And I looked over, and there was this girl in a Mustang, a white older Mustang. And she was a young girl, about 25, blonde hair, big glasses. And she was just singing her head off, just like, well, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I couldn't hear it. The windows were up, but she was just like, yeah, yeah, like, whoa, wow, whoa, like just jamming. And I looked at her, and it gave me such a spirit of freedom. Like, I picked up on that spirit of freedom she has, and how she's just independently driving herself, and she feels happy. And I'm sure she bought that car with her own money. And she might have been a teenager. She might have been 20. She looked not over 25. And I just liked that spirit. And I thought, that's going to be me. You're never too old to start anew, And that's really what keeps us young. Living anew, living fresh, excelling in our life, pursuing the things we need to get to where we want, and just enjoying the journey. So I'm going to enjoy the journey. Living a joyful life is about enjoying the journey. So I want you to have that with you this week. I love you, Joy Tribe. I appreciate you. And I hope that my success becomes your success, and that you feel like you can also achieve little things and talk about it. And ignore the haters, and go about your business like the queens and kings you are. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to see you on Wednesday nights, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube. And as usual, answer the polls and everything else that we have here on Spotify and on YouTube. I read all the comments. I try to return them all. And I love you so much. I will see you in the next episode of The Joyful Life. Take care, Joy Tribe.
I'll turn the page. new story.